Are you ready? Hey. What a wonderful day it is. Today is Thirsty Thursday, so I've got my Synergy Cafe mug with coffee, little RPG. What does that stand for? Real People Giving. So I'm looking for my friend Bo. He put an announcement up that he said he's got a story for me. So I themed this thing today, the mystery story, because I don't know what the story is. So hopefully he can tell it in public, and he wasn't going to do it in the green room with me. So I'm going to find Bo right now. So hang on a second. Let me look for him. See if he's here. There he is. Ta-da. Hey.
Hey. Oh, you flipped me. I'm over here now.
I did. I didn't want my logo over your head. People get confused because we look so similar.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Top of the morning to you.
It's been a couple of weeks. I had a good time with Tirza last week.
I bet.
That's pretty good.
I watched a bit of it.
She's a watercolor. She teaches watercolor stuff, art.
She's a great artist. And I watched part of that. So she was kind of an untrained artist, right? She just discovered her gift, and that's awesome. Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of like real art, because then you're not replicating what someone previous did. You're doing your own deal. So I think that was pretty cool. And I like how she does a little. It doesn't seem like she's like a techie type person, but she's got it all set up with video and classes and all that stuff. Very cool.
She has it figured out. She's a great talent, and and I love the abstract. I love the creativity that she brings to the table. Yeah. Once upon a time, I came home. This was, oh boy, long time ago, 15 years ago, maybe. I came home from work, and I opened the door to go downstairs to the basement to see a couple of my little people. And there was this gigantic, well, I guess not gigantic because it was about bow size, right? So it was life size, but for a smaller individual. And there was this gigantic Cat in the Hat at the bottom of my stairs painted on the wall. Like this way, that way, like that Cat in the Hat, right? And I thought, well, where did this come from? My wife painted it, and then went on to paint just a substantial amount more, ended up doing some painting for a company. Like, this is a gift that I never knew she had till that moment. And I'm like, what happened here?
Do you have any of that talent?
No.
Artistic talent?
Oh, no, sir. I cannot draw.
I kind of don't either. It's interesting. Yeah. Maybe it's a Gemini thing where we don't get to have any art. But my wife, she did some art. She had a more of natural art. She used to do it in the rain.
Sure. Oh, that's cool.
Watercolor, and then the droplets would hit the thing and make little splash marks. She'd go out in the woods and get ferns and press the ferns on and let it dry.
Sure.
And then it would have the impression of the fern on there. Or she'd go out in the wind. It was all about earth and natural stuff happening. That's pretty cool.
I like her vibe.
Earth, water, air, and fire. So
yeah,
but I'm not much of an artist, but I admire it. I mean, a couple stories. There's this one guy when we lived in Asheville, North Carolina, and this is sort of a money story because that's kind of we're about business and kind of stuff, capitalists. Yeah. He did this art. He was actually very good at doing like realistic stuff, but he did this art where you just throw the paint on the canvas.
Yes. Okay.
He did these big ones, these 10 by 15 big giant canvases on this big rotisserie thingy.
Rotisserie thingy.
Well, turntable thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking of chicken right now, like rotisserie.
Yeah, it's paint.
Okay.
And he just put this on there. It looked really cool. These real vibrant colors and everything.
Yeah.
And then when he gets all done, he's doing it to music and everything. And all of a sudden, voila.
It's awesome.
And people started asking about it. And so eventually it got to, so how much is that painting worth? Well, what do you sell that for? And he does it by the dimension. He says, this is 10 by 15, big, $15,000. I go, what? 20, 30 minutes you painted that? $15,000? Yeah. And a guy says, I'll take it.
Oh my goodness.
There on the spot. So you just got to let it dry. But the interesting thing about it is he positioned himself as a professional, and he had his galleries. You saw he was a real artist and everything, but he did an event. And I'm an event guy.
Yeah.
He did an event around there. He'd do this a couple times a month and has cheese and crackers and hors d'oeuvres and stuff for people. They wander around the gallery and see stuff. Then they go in and grab a seat and turn on the music, and he starts doing his thing. And it was an experience.
Yeah.
And I can see where someone's got the money. They say, yeah, here's 15 grand. I'll put that up on the wall over the fireplace.
I love it. I love that you mentioned a couple of these things because I said I had a little story to tell, and you're feeding into it. You said you had one more. Do you have two?
I do have one other one. I forgot what it was.
All right. All right.
Well, let's ignore that one.
Okay.
Tell us some kind of art story.
Well, I didn't know you were going to make that the theme. I just said I had a story to tell. So
I didn't want to do it the theme. I just this is open, man. Whatever. Maybe your
here we
story will
go.
distract you.
It'll work. It's going to be great. So, and I probably won't tell the story very well, that's unfortunate, but it's still a story to share. And what prompted this is, so yesterday I got a call from a friend of mine. His son is a young entrepreneur. He's 17 years old, and he is a go-getter. This kid is going to light the world on fire, right? And he reached out to me with some marketing questions because he knows I have an affinity for some kind of unique marketing, right? Just mailbox power. He's used this system before, and so he just reached out and said, I want to run these things by you, and he's got postcards and he's ready to do some things. And I left this conversation with this brilliant mind, this individual who he has a lawn care company and he's trying to grow it. And then he also works at a Jersey Mike's restaurant, sub shop, which I love Jersey Mike's. And so he just had this energy, but he reminded me, and afterwards I sent a message to his dad and I said, do you remember the story we heard from when we were at one of our conventions with American Family Insurance? And we heard this story from this guy and it stuck with me for the last several years. And what it was about, and I'll share it here in a second, is about the client experience, right? You talk about the experience that people had. They experienced him painting, and it's about branding. And so the story in a nutshell was a guy comes home. He's an executive, and he comes home, and I may have shared this with you before, and his pool is a disaster. He's got a pool and it's green. And I mean, it looks like things are growing. He's only been gone 7 to 10 days tops. And he comes home, walks in the back, and he likes to sit out back on his patio. And he's got this gorgeous pool and it's glistening and all that. And it's green. It's murky. It's gross. And he's, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, he had seen, I think he had held on to a flyer. He had seen something from an advertisement from an individual. And I don't even remember the name of the pool company, pool cleaning company. So he reached out, and the guy answers the phone, right? This is probably after 5 o'clock, but he answers the phone, and from the beginning of that moment, the experience this guy had was so memorable. It was so unique. It was so good. So the guy says, "Okay, what are we dealing with?" And he said, "Man, my pool's green. I need to get it looked at." The guy's like, "Well, where do you live?" And he says, "Yeah." I was like, "You know what? I'm not too far from you. Hold on a second. Let me ask if it's okay for me to step away for a minute." So he pretends to muffle the phone and he starts talking to what you assume is his wife. And, "Hey, hon, you mind if I leave for a sec? I got to go take a look and see what we're dealing with for this guy." Nope. And he could overhear the whole thing, right? Which was just perfect. So the guy comes back. He's like, "Yeah, I can be there in like 15 minutes. So he shows up 15 minutes later and he's showing me the problem, right? Walks him back there and he's like, oh, yeah, this is a mess. But I can take care of it. You're going to need to give me a little time to process through this." Guy's like, "Okay, fine." So that starts the relationship that they have. He's got a small business owner. This guy cleans pools. He's going to take care of him. He's going to trust him to take care of it. So he goes, he signs a contract or signs a deal for the guy to clean his pool, right? And get him back to where he should be. And the guy said, "Okay, I'm not doing anything tonight, but he's got a rubber ducky." And he tosses a rubber ducky in the pool. And he says, and he introduced the duck as a certain name. And he said, he's going to start taking care of things before I get back. Just tosses a little rubber ducky in the pool, right? This ducky's not going to do anything. He's got a name. So you fast forward, the guy comes back and the pool looks fabulous. And there was a note with a new rubber ducky, and the little rubber ducky is wearing a sombrero. And the note says something like, he introduced himself as, "My name is Juan Pablo, and I am taking care of your pool this week." This little rubber ducky. So every week this guy came, there was a new named rubber ducky that was managing the pool. The kids would come home and shoot through the front door to get to the back patio to find out who's taking care of the pool this week. Like there was this whole experience, right? So you fast forward, the guy takes care of the pool, whatever. He gets to visit with the guy. And the guy let him in on the fact that, no, this was the whole thing was a ruse. Like you call in and, "Hey, honey, is it okay if I do this?" This guy manages thousands of pools with hundreds of staff, team members, but he made the experience feel like you're a small business. He made it all about that person. He made it memorable. This guy can't count his business. I mean, massive business, I think it was in Florida. But he just made it so personalized. He made it so memorable. And he branded it with his little rubber duckies that were taking care of everything. And I thought about this last night after talking to my friend Andrew, and I'm thinking, this guy's going to be, he can do the rubber ducky thing as a lawn care company, right? And make that experience so unique and so memorable in different ways just by doing a little branding, right? and making people laugh a little bit, right? Making it an experience. You're not just getting your lawn taken care of, right? It is an experience. So when you're sitting out there enjoying that lawn, so
well, this guy with the pool cleaning company, he was a big company. Was he like the owner, CEO of the company?
He was, yeah. Well, the original guy that showed up was his worker guy. He was the guy that handled the phone, and he would just, oh, sorry. And he made it feel like he was completely out of his way. When in reality, the guy would show up to land the job, and it wasn't the owner. He got to know the owner after the fact. It was
those things are very memorable, like Flo with Progressive Insurance and stuff. Or I think Flo's with Progressive. I'm not trying to stomp on your insurance.
No worries, no.
But I've always admired where they take the Progressive car and they pull in front of a landmark, like the Mall of America, or the stadium or the Dome or whatever.
Yeah.
They show the landmark and then they pull the car in front, and all of a sudden that goes in your head.
Yes.
But the idea of this little rubber ducky thing, that's pretty fascinating that they themed it that way.
It's such a great, and he's, this is the guy that's going to take care of your pool till I get back here. And he tosses it in this murky water. Well, next time he comes home, it's just glistening. It's just perfect. And then now he's got this guy taking care of it for the rest of his life. Like, this crew will be the ones that care for his pool. So when he travels, he doesn't have to worry about anything. Like, it was just so good, and he made it sound like it is going to be kind of
that's a good segue into throwing this little link up here, because we do talk about Mailbox Power a lot, because we're both use this system and stuff. So I throw that up there.
Yeah.
But that is the idea of branding, because people buy through emotion and they justify with logic.
Yeah.
So you do that storytelling thing. I think that's kind of where it all happens, because he'll never forget. And if anybody else says, yeah, I got to get my pool clean, talk to that rubber duck guy.
Totally. Arms going up, helium's in the hands, right? It makes sure somebody say, you know, anybody that takes care of pools, this is an automatic. Oh man, you're gonna love this guy. He's going to show up. I can't wait to hear the name of your duck. Like, it's just so good.
There's a prank company, I think, locally here called Flamingo by the Yard.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
You put flamingos for your birthday.
Yeah.
Or things like that. Anything that's unique and memorable.
It is so important on kind of differentiating yourself, right? Not just, this wasn't just another pool company. I'll give you an example. I didn't set out to be known as like the guy of kindness in my community. I just happened to, promote it. I think it's important to be nice to people. I don't know. It shouldn't have to be promoted. But so I kind of have this reputation in my own community as kind of the chief kindness officer, the CEO of kindness. It's
gone beyond your community. I mean.
Well, so this has happened, right? So I didn't intentionally brand that, but that has happened to be alongside me. And there's worse things to be known as.
Sure.
But it's interesting because the last couple of years, some of my clients, family, friends, prospects, fellow business owners have gotten to know me a little bit as the brownie guy because of using Mailbox Power, because I send them out all the time and people remember them. I've sent them out with a picture of me in my yellow suit. I've sent them out with a picture of them, right? But it does make you a little different, and different is good.
That's what you've got to do, especially in this day of the internet. I was just talking with, I don't remember who it was, about how things get replicated so fast. But yeah. In the event business, an event planner is an event planner is an event planner. If you're a tent rental company, a tent's a tent's a tent.
That's right.
If you're a caterer, food is food is food.
That's right.
You need to do something that's unique and different. And same thing in real estate. You got to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's the guy with his arms out wide?
Yeah.
And,
yeah, he's got billboards out here. I'm 50 miles from the Twin Cities, and he's all out here.
I'm like, remember Dick Enrico with Second Wind?
Oh yeah, I do.
Sure.
Yeah. The fitness stuff, right?
Yeah, the bobblehead guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's what you kind of got to do. You got to make yourself unique. At
you
least your
have to be
company
a
has.
little different. A friend of mine who happens to be insured with a different company received a postcard for their birthday with a ability to take that postcard and use it as a coupon at a local restaurant. So the gesture was really, really great, right? It was going to be this, little cup of ice cream, whatever. And I thought, and they shared it with me just to say, hey, look at this. But it's interesting because the front of the postcard said, happy birthday. There was no name. And then the company, their name, the company, like their brand, their insurance company's name. Like they were saying happy birthday to themselves, right?
Okay.
That's exactly what it looked like. I'm like, whoa. On the back, there was grammatical errors. There was typos. And so the presentation itself was lacking. But I sat there and looked at that and go, how is that branding the agent? How is that helping that individual independent agent be known? Right. It was all about the big corporate office. It wasn't personalized. And there's just so much better way to do that using a system like ours that you can actually show up and make it about the end user and not about your company. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, the independent, especially the way the things are happening, employees are kind of being gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess they'll maybe come back, but even if a person is an employee and has a job, you are your individual self, and you need to sell your company on keeping you there.
Right. It's true.
Because everybody is very expendable.
Yeah.
So if you come in and you got the smile on your face and you're the guy that's always wearing a yellow bandana around your head, that's your brand.
Sure.
Stick with it,
Sure.
You got to do that.
To the quick plug for the Mailbox Power. So we've talked about this before, but I had a conversation with another insurance agent who says, why would I do something like this? Why would I spend $11 or $26 to send a mug and coffee or things like that? I can just send an email. I can send a text. I have some of these things automated for me. I said, well, you can automate this. It's going to cost you a little bit more money. But how much is it costing you not to do this? I mean, that's the reality. Like, I've sent some like really well-written emails in my life. I know I have. I've done a decent job of scripting the message. I have never had a shout out because I sent a cool email. I've never had, a public social media like, wow, this is amazing. I've never had that experience from somebody from an email.
Well,
but when you send something that's a surprise in the mailbox, it is amazing what it does for an experience, right?
Well, they get to open it on their own time.
Right.
And granted, you can open email at your own time, but you're going through 100 emails and they're,
sure.
I mean, I get emails from people that I actually like, but it's like, oh God, another one. And this isn't really interesting to me. It was fun when we were having coffee talking about it, but now I'm on your list and
sure.
I don't want to really unsubscribe. And if anybody's listening, I'm sorry, this might be you.
That's great. Well, there's a place for email. There's a place for text messaging. There's a place for all of it. But if you want to stand out a little bit, if you want to be a little different and really lean back into that customer or that prospect or whatever and say, hey, I'm thinking of you. This is a system that just makes it easy.
But whenever I get someone sending me something or messaging me something about how good they do websites or if they do SEO or social media this or they're a printer or they got insurance or whatever it is, it's like, prove it.
Right.
What's it going to do for me?
Right.
I don't care if it's going to get me more prospects. I want money in the bank. How's that going to happen?
Right. We got to talk about the benefits for you, not the features, right?
Yeah, unless it's something entertainment wise and I'm going to go on a vacation or I'm going to have ice cream or something like that. When I go grab a cookie over at that T-Rex cookie place.
I went there. We'll talk about that.
See, I sold them.
You did.
I referred it. That's kind of how this works. It's a referral business.
Yeah, you should be an affiliate for them. It was a $5 cookie.
It is a $5 cookie. It's a good cookie and it's an experience. But they didn't send me an email or knock on my door and say, hey, you got to come over and buy one of our cookies.
Right.
I just walked by and said, hey, there's a cookie.
I took a picture of it, sent it to my family, said, look at this I'm about to do. It's bigger than my head. This is a big cookie.
They are big. They are
I
big.
like cookies. Yeah, yeah. It was funny. We walked in there, and I forgot that you had said it was at the mall, original mall, I think it was. And my wife and I had ran, and we were over in the city for something, and we were there. And I'm like, oh, I think that T-Rex place is here, so I'm going there. So yeah, yeah.
Back to like the mailbox power and using direct mail as a marketing tool, you can create a brand around the brownie. You don't have to use the stuff that's in there, the labels and things. You create
Right.
your own label, create your own brand, and if you wanted to be the brownie guy,
Yeah.
you
Well,
could
like
brand yourself as that.
I
or the
thought
duck
about
guy.
my buddy that I talked to yesterday. As a thank you, a mid-season or a beginning of the season, or client appreciation week or end of the season, or to thank for the referral, whatever it is, right? He's still trying to grow this thing, but even the best way to grow it is by thanking your existing clients. But if he was to send a brownie, a pack of brownies to somebody, and his last name's Golderman, and Golderman's Gourmet Goodies, with a picture of him or something chewing on a brownie. I mean, people are going to talk about it, right? Because it's just unique. It is nothing you can find anywhere else. I'm like, this kid, not only does he mow my lawn, but he makes brownies. Is that that's happening here?
Back in the day, that you go to the trade shows and people give you those little pens or those imprinted
Right.
things.
Right.
I did private label hot sauce. I found a place that does hot sauce, and you get a label made, and it's got all the food regulations and all that stuff on it. And I had a little price tag on it, and it looked real. It was Magic Brad's Hocus Pocus habanero hot sauce.
You are unbelievable. You are. You're so good.
Those are the things that I would do at a trade show when they came to my booth, and I qualified them to find out if they are the event planner for the corporation.
Yeah.
I would give them the hot sauce. And we did that with the Expo guys thing, all the exhibitors,
Yeah.
We would
give
all the exhibitors hot sauce.
It works so good you stopped doing it, like a lot of good ideas, or what? I mean, I love the idea.
I'm not doing that kind of thing anymore.
Right.
And now, quite honestly, if I wanted, I could brand the brownie deal and start being the brownie guy instead of the hot sauce. In fact, I don't know, maybe a Mailbox Power is going to have a line of hot sauces or condiments.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Did you see what they recently added?
What did they add?
The luggage tags.
Oh, yeah.
They're perfect. Like anybody
Cindy
in the
Lee
travel
is happy
industry,
about that. I just saw that there's a comment on it. It's probably Cindy Lee. No, it's Mike Wilkie. My friend Mike Wilkie. Hi, Mike
Hey,
Wilkie.
morning, Mike. Morning. But I love the idea. I mean, these are really durable. Anybody in the travel industry, this is an absolute, like, somebody books with you, this is what you should be sending them. But I thought about all of the people in the network marketing space, right? You try to make it to the trips or the conventions, or you qualify for different things, or you send them a luggage tag thing that for their journey, for the journey ahead when they join your team or this and that. Like, there's so many ways to use that. It is not expensive. I think it was like $7 and change for a
but you
two-sided
can think
deal.
outside the box too, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a luggage tag. It could be a key ring tag.
Totally.
If you don't want to lose your keys,
Yeah.
I know some of these girls got like all sorts of stuff on their key ring.
Yeah, I love it.
Unique.
I love it. Well, we got to get what we're thankful for, because unfortunately I got to cut out. I've got
Yes.
Well, I'll just say, here's what I'm thankful for right now, right? I'm thankful for you, Brad. I'm thankful that we are able to continue to meet weekly. I missed last week. I had the opportunity to talk to a group of about 30 insurance agents about the system we're talking about, and shared with them. And some of them were just instantly like, this is exactly what I needed. And others, no. Today, I'm thankful. There's a whole lot going on at my house right now. My furnace stopped working, and it hasn't worked for the last few days. And a new one's getting installed. I'm thankful that I'm in a position that I can do that. I don't like it. I don't want to spend the money on it, but I'm thankful that I can. And that I'm going to have heat today, because it got a little cool last night. So I'm thankful for that. All the while, there's work being done on my home for an issue that wasn't previously disclosed before buying, and I'm finally dealing with it, and I'm finally in a position to deal with it. So I'm thankful for that. So there's contractors in my house. That's why I'm sitting in a parking lot talking to you in my vehicle, because it's so noisy. It's crazy.
Okay.
My wife goes to leave this morning to take my daughter to school, and my garage door, the cable, both sides, snap. So she can't open the garage door.
Oh.
I'm not thankful that happened, let alone today. On top, I don't need another contractor's truck in my driveway right now dealing with another thing. But I am thankful that I had an alternative source of transportation before I could get up and fix it. And that when it comes time today or tomorrow, when somebody can come fix it, because I'm not winding that metal cable and breaking my face, I can take care of that. So I'm very thankful that I'm in this position to deal with some of the challenges that are being thrown at me. Is that fair?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the powerful things about free will.
Yeah.
Is you get to decide, oh, the sun is setting. Is that depressing? No, because that's the sooner it sets, the sooner it'll rise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it depends on where you look at, the perspective of things. In fact, I've got a little dealy bopper here. This is a little coin that I got. You see what that says?
Reality.
Reality. And then over here it says, where is it? What am I doing?
My fantasy.
Yeah.
I love that, Brad.
On the other side, it's got my logo on it. So I'm
Brad?
self-serving myself. But it's all a matter of perspective.
What do they call that? Anagram or something like that? That can read
possibly.
different ways? Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool.
Like the word chump, you can write the word chump, so it says chump either way you do it.
Yeah.
That's one thing, but this is actually a different word.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I just think it's really cool that it depends on how you look at it.
I've seen some people that have done that kind of concept with a tattoo, that it reads different ways, and I think it is so cool, to tell you the truth.
Sure, you raise your hand, you lower your hand.
Speaking of seeing, I am going to mention this. So I had contacts when I was 18 years old for about 6 months, probably about 3 months before I ripped one of them, and I've not had them since. So I've gone like literally 25 years needing improved vision, and I finally grew up. I mean, it took that long, and I finally said, I'm tired of squinting. I'm tired of I could see decent enough to pass my driver's license test, but it's still not. I'd rather have better vision.
So the prescription ones, these are cheaters.
No, this is the full deal. These are progressives. Like I go like this, and I see there. Like I almost threw up yesterday because there's so much going on. Like I'm seeing too much.
That might be what happened. Maybe this garage door and all these things happening has been happening. You just haven't seen it.
It could be, yeah. But I did a post yesterday for St. Pat. There's a lot of adulting going on in my world right now, and it's okay. It's okay. It's good. It's good progress. Cool. So yeah. What else? So what are you thankful for, Brad? Before we cut out.
I'm going back to you, man. This is the highlight of my life. I get to do interviews once in a while, but I really missed connecting with you. It seemed like it was like 6 months.
I know.
It was like just 2 weeks. One day we missed it, but I'm thankful for the other perspective. And you can get in a pity party really easy. I mean, I sit at home and there's nobody to talk to. Where should I go? I can't. There's a pandemic going on. You start getting into this little, yeah. And if you just shift that thinking and realize that, I got a pulse. That's a good thing. And you just kind of grow from that. It's a matter of being in a different spot. Yeah. And then just enjoying it and saying, you know what? I'm not going to be in this space. I'm going to make myself a nice cup of coffee and go look out the window and stare at the birds and enjoy some stuff. So I'm very thankful for God gave us free will to be able to pick and choose. If you want to be all depressed and mad at the government or pissed off at someone's race or something like that, that's the world you live in. So change your perspective.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Right on. And be happy. Right.
Okay, Captain, I'm throwing you the green room and close this bad boy out.
All right, buddy.
We'll sign off.
Okay. Thank you, man. Great chat.
Peace. Well, there's my friend Bo. He's always got some interesting stories to share and things like that. And for those of you that are interested in Mailbox Power, here's that logo once again. This is a system that we're using. You can check on the YouTube channel and learn more about it, or just give us a call. We can share it with you. It's a pretty cool thing, but it is about sharing rather than taking. So signing this one off. Appreciate you taking the time. Thank you very much. Be well, be good, be safe, be nice.